Hello everybody and welcome to DryerDays Art Studio. I'm Catherine. Thank you so much for being here today. This is going to be a pretty quick video on these Ohio State coasters. They were so easy and so fun to make, and I really enjoyed making these, and I used this new sparkler to my store. It's called Rainbow Bright, and it's a lot like Kaleidoscope, except Kaleidoscope is square cut, and these, as you can see here, are multi-shaped, kind of shard looking. Just really pretty. They reflect the light beautifully, and they're just sort of this really vibrant holographic silver. So I'm going to start off with my Ohio State silicone molds here that I had custom made. I will link who made these in the video description if you want to reach out to them for any custom made molds. They did a really nice job. These are great molds. I've used them. This is my 5th time using them now, and they've held up really well. And just showing you here again that Rainbow Bright sparkler and how beautiful it is. And I wanted to do these clear with just this sparkler because really you could use these in any shape mold. You could use any decal if you want to, but I just want to show you how I made these. And I just had a patron video that I released for my patrons only in that $5 tier and up. It's their special April bonus content on how I made some Notre Dame coasters, and I used a decal in that too. So I'm going to go more in depth on how I lay the decals down. I'm not really going to talk about that in this video because all the decals are different too, how they're made. So it depends on what kind you get and how they're made as to how you're going to put them down on your coasters. And I go into that more for that video for my patrons, and I'm not going to go into it too much on this one. But so here we're just going to lay down that first layer of clear resin. Going to warm it up, get any bubbles out. So I really made sure this resin was nice and warm in my room. The ideal temperature is 75 degrees. And then I slowly mixed this resin for 3 minutes. And as you can see, those 3 small cups up there that I got from Total Boat, I only put about an ounce of resin in each of those and then poured them into these molds. These molds can hold about 2.5 to 3 ounces of resin. And I knew I wasn't going to fill them all the way with the glitter because I am going to do a flood coat on these. And I still wanted to have a little bit of room for a lip. Again, I kind of go over that more in depth in the patron video that I made this month, but that was kind of the reason that I was sparing on the resin in this initial coat here. And then with the orange stick, I just moved it into the corners, really made sure we didn't have any bubbles because there's a lot of little nooks and crannies here on these Ohio State molds. And then there I'm mixing in the glitter, and I'm just adding it in to get the consistency that I want. Just adding a little bit in as I go. This is sped up for time, but I was gently mixing this, trying not to incorporate any new air in to create any new bubbles because the resin looked really nice and clear. No micro bubbles. And I am using for these the Total Boats countertop epoxy on these. And as you can see, just really nice and clear, hardly any bubbles, spreading out really nicely here. You'll notice sometimes too when you already have that base layer of clear that the glitter almost pushes away from the sides of the mold, so I'm going to sprinkle a little bit on here in a minute just to get a little bit more of an even consistency of how I wanted to see the sparkle. And when I demold these later, I'm going to talk about something I've been getting a lot of questions about lately, and that is glitter sinking. And I do feel like that has a lot to do with the quality of glitter that you're using. If you're buying glitter just at like Walmart or Hobby Lobby or Michael's even, they're really, just cheap polyester glitter, which this is a polyester plastic base glitter as well. This is not biodegradable, but it's just of a higher quality, the way that it's cut, the way that it's produced. And so you'll see it doesn't just sink like a rock to the bottom of my mold. But also adding that flood coat too of clear is going to help give a little bit of a barrier to having that sink. And here you can see it just sprinkling a little bit on. And when you do this too at the end and you sprinkle a little bit on the top here too, that's going to help it sit at the top too and have more of that sparkle at the top of your mold and not sinking to the bottom. But I do believe that it depends on the quality of glitter that you're using. And you can see a little heart shape there that I tested out this glitter first. I test all of my glitters before I put them on the market for you guys to make sure that they are very good quality. And like I said, I'm not going to touch base on how I put the decals on in this video. If you want to consider supporting the channel and becoming a patron, there is bonus content every month. And in this month's bonus content, I do cover that with the decals. So. And we're just going to sprinkle on now a flood coat. So these cured for about 24 hours. I waited a little bit longer than that even to put the Ohio State decals on, and as you can see here, I've left them in the mold. I have not demolded these yet because I still have some room in that mold, and we're going to do a clear flood coat to top these off and to cover that decal. And I personally use a gloved hand to move that resin around, again making sure to get it to all the edges. You really want to make sure too, even when I was laying down the decal, I always keep my gloves on because I don't want to get any of the oils from my hand on that base layer that's curing, because any oils will then create bubbles and divots in our flood coat. So it's important to keep that surface really clean. We don't want it pulling away from the sides of the mold at all. And then because we are flooding this inside of the mold still, we're going to get a little bit of that lip, because as the resin cures up, it kind of shrinks down, and we're going to have that nice lip, which I like to have on coasters because that comes in handy, that little lip, when we have condensation on any of our cold glasses that we might be putting on here. And then of course, after I do the flood, we're just going to hit with heat again and pop any bubbles. Okay, and this is about 30 hours later. And I did cover these to keep any dust or anything from getting on the surface of these. Look at how beautiful. And I did stagger those decals a little bit just to give each one of these a different look. It's hard too to get that Ohio State decal right in the center of these, so I opted to stagger them sort of on each mold to make each one unique, and I think it worked out nicely. So here's I tried to slow this down so that you can really see that glitter in here, how it's evenly distributed. It didn't just all sink to the bottom. Really beautiful sparkle in there. And like I said, you can use these for any mold. I think this would be a really beautiful sparkler in a geode as well, or even like an abstract piece. And we'll just keep demolding. I'll pull off any extra edges, and then I am going to gently file that lip just so that it's not too sharp, but leaving that lip on there to, again, catch any condensation from some cold drinks that we might put on there. And there you have it, guys. There's an example of some really easy, really beautiful, quick coasters that you can make and sell. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you got something out of it. Please head over to DryerDaysArtStudio.com to buy the products that you saw here, and I will link where I got these custom molds down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to check out how to be a patron, check out the video description. And until next time, everybody, keep on pouring.